Man, it's Thursday. What's good, LL Nation? Welcome in. I'm gonna keep you informed as I can today, but it's NBA draft day. Uh, Tad bit distracted, to say the least. Lucky Lefty podcast. Man, Left will be here shortly. Want to get started? Give you about 50 minutes today. It's a slow news day. Some things we haven't had a chance to talk about because of the big news that came through with Marcus Freeman, his interview, other interviews by the beat reporters being released in the next coming days. I think part one of Brian Driscoll's interview is up on the message board. So you can go check that out. Man, we can still dig into some stuff, man. We can still dig into some stuff. Matter of fact, I was just about to say we are brought to you by Onora Whiskey, AnoraWhiskey.com. It is that premium American whiskey, AnoraWhiskey.com. And if you drink, by all means, make sure that you do so
responsibly.
You gotta do it responsibly. Left, we have some remaining topics and remaining comments from the previous 2 days of discussion around Marcus Freeman. So we're going to do some simple question and answers for people because it's amazing how you can communicate and convey things, and the simplest things just people don't get it, right?
That's right.
So Apple Podcast, Spotify, make sure you go to YouTube. Thumbs up, hit that for us. Helps with the views, right? Then we give you audio edibles each and every day. Apple Podcasts and Spotify, the Lucky Lefty podcast. We spin it different. Left, we're going to talk about restructuring of recruiting. What if I told you that the hire that is taking place right now is not good enough? And just having a director is not enough. This director should have minimum a staff of 10. Interns, students, GAs, analysts, scouring the country for film and young players, going all the way down. They should be asking you about 8th graders right now. That might sound crazy, Left. That might sound crazy. Some people might say, what? Looking at 8th graders? Yep. Yeah. You should know who's in the pipeline. All right, I'll give you a great example. A young man that I have watched grow up. He was born. The coffee, bro. Don't tell me you wasted the coffee, bro. Oh no, left, not the half and half. That hurt. Ladies and gentlemen. That is the look of pain that you are watching right now. Lucky, I know that look, bro. I know that. Oh my god.
Paper towels.
Take a moment of silence for the coffee, man.
Jesus. Okay, sorry. It just fell on its own.
Your face gave it away.
You know what's even crazier? Can I get some more paper? Driving, taking my son to daycare, and I look back and tap the person in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, I got good enough reaction where I didn't tap it and do nothing crazy. So they just got back in the car, but it's just been a tough day today. Because I thought I was, that's a 40-minute thing right there. You know, you tap somebody's car, they get out.
Right.
You don't know how they gonna react. You know, luckily I did it safe enough to where nothing happened, so they was just getting back in the car, which is cool. But man, and then I'm sitting here and the coffee just, it's a tough day, man. You know how that goes.
Isn't that crazy? Because you start to get the feeling like, man, let me pause and get control of things. Because you
Yeah,
start
because
to
I
feel
don't
like,
want to
okay,
say something crazy.
right, something's going on, and let me change the trajectory of this day. So that's what we're gonna do right now, LL Nation. We're gonna pause for 10 minutes. And center yourselves, LL Nation. Everybody think good thoughts. Think about the greatness that's on the inside of you.
Here, let me clean this up. Give me a second. Hold on.
Focus on that. We're gonna get left an opportunity to clean up, and we're gonna focus on the next national championship in Notre Dame. We're gonna focus on a Notre Dame player standing in New York, raising the Heisman Trophy, multiple first round picks in the NFL drafts in the future. Marcus Freeman bringing in 5 stars. Inhale, exhale, inhale. That's right. Clean it out. Clean it out. Good thoughts. Good thoughts. That was brought to you by LL Yoga. Right. We indeed spinning different. Oh man. That is funny. His face gave it away, LL Nation. I was like, yo, that had to be Brandon Blizzard said. Tell who I needed that. Right? That was for 35 years, right, B? Oh man. Oh man. Oh wow. What a way to start a show. So, interesting dialogue, comments. Like I said, for the last 2 days of us talking about Marcus Freeman and what took place in this interview with the pivot, other things. Answer this question. Left, what is the culture? I got that question like at least 10 times, bro. And honestly, it came from older Notre Dame alumni that reached out. It's like, Shaun, can you please explain to me what you guys mean when you say the culture?
In reference to Notre Dame or just in general?
Yeah, just what we were talking about with the pivot interview. Go ahead and give, because we're going to give question and answers. We're trying to simplify some things right here and explain to people what it is. We say the culture.
The culture is what would be the attractive piece, the trend, the thing that is going to reverberate to more than just the immediate mass media. So you got the mass media, the mainstream, you know, the things that you see on your channel news, the trends, the topics that you see that catch on secondarily to the culture. So the culture is where you find your original, you find your authentic, you find your niche things that eventually end up becoming mainstream. So before there's mainstream, where everybody's like, oh, okay, I know that. There's the culture. Most things derive from the culture.
Mm-hmm.
A prime example would be rap. Rap is a cultural thing that has become a global thing to mainstream, is an example of the culture. things that you may find cool these days probably
Mm-hmm.
came from the culture.
Mm-hmm.
Sayings, lingo, styles, the things that we seem are trendy before they become redid and remastered and remixed. It's the authentic, how do you say, the trend or what's going on right now
Mm-hmm.
that stirs the pot. It's the butter to the cake. Before the cake, you gotta have butter. It's all the pre-ingredients before you put it together. It's the start. It's the foundation. It's what keeps things moving forward. The culture that we always refer to is a culture that we've been a part of our whole lives.
Mm-hmm.
And how our culture is reflected in Notre Dame has something to do with how well or how bad the recruiting can go sometimes. And Marcus Freeman getting closer to the source of what gets these kids attention, what gets these kids talking about what's new, what's fresh, what's hot. The pivot has been one of those things that has been a good dose of culture for people to pay attention to. So for Marcus Freeman to know that with his genius staff of Amir Carlisle and say, hey, we can pull more eyes getting on the pivot than we can do on a CNN 60-minute all interview access.
Traditional.
Traditional,
Traditional.
mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
Kids are not watching CNN 60 minutes
No.
all access Marcus Freeman interview, even though
No.
they may take a clip or two because it's mainstream. They gonna come across it.
I'll say this: Deuce Knight and his father watched the interview.
Exactly. It's
You know what I'm
reaching,
saying?
it's reaching more than just
If he was on CNN, man, nobody peeping that interview.
nobody's giving it the credit of okay, because once you hit
No.
that level, you get remixed, mastered, edited,
Mm-hmm.
taking things out. We already know what that's like.
Mm-hmm.
When you get on something like the pivot, they're gonna ask the raw questions. They're gonna give you the answers that you gonna want to know when you go on recruiting trips. So Marcus Freeman saw that as an opportunity. I can be myself. I don't have to wear the suit and tie, stand on no podium. I can give them a little bit of the real because I fit with that where things are headed. And I understand that. So I think having a knowledge of what these kids are interested in culturally gives Marcus Freeman another notch in the whole coaching scheme of why players want to be there outside of it just being Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of kids are committing to schools because of their coach, because of their position coach, because of the head coach. Hell, I'll play for Dabo. If I was a kid coming out of high school, hey, look at it. Everybody that goes there got good stuff to say. And they win. So the culture that Marcus Freeman is developing is a mix between what's now culture and what's
Mm-hmm.
attractive to these kids in recruiting
Mm-hmm.
with a winning culture at Notre Dame that's been there, but is getting revamped, reconditioned,
Mm-hmm.
reordered around,
Mm-hmm.
represented in a fresher way. It's like we bought the little uh, middle class home in the neighborhood. It's okay. Yeah, it's cool. It's like in Inglewood.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't put that SoFi Stadium over there now. So now that middle class little home, I got to do some things to it, upgrade it, raise the
Right.
property, got put a pool back there,
Right. Right. Right.
put a little back house. Okay, now this little middle class thing, yeah, it was making some money, but now it's making some money
Mm-hmm.
because the area is going up. Marcus Freeman is in the landscape of like Inglewood. Yeah, it's culturally where it's at. Okay, we planted our flag and been there for a good minute. A lot of great things come through there. Okay, but now the area going up. NIL coming into the land. You got SoFi coming in there. You got the forum being redone. You got all these expensive things coming in. NIL is expensive. Marcus Freeman like, man, I'm not the hottest kid on the block no more. I may not have to, I can't do all of them. I can upgrade this little shop, this little lounge, take it to the next level. Add a patio.
Mm-hmm.
Because we get good customers,
Mm-hmm.
but we got to handle this overflow now. There's going to be a lot of traffic now. You got to upgrade. Got to get 3 instead of 2 bathrooms. It's 2 good bathrooms. Got to have another. But adjusting to that is going to be beneficial to us because we still in that area. We're not leaving. We're not moving out. We're not looking for other places to rent. We still there because we've been winning there. But we got to kick it up and add some more features to it. We got to get an appraisal on it. We got to go get an extra little $20,000 for some funding.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
But when you build it, they will come. And that's what Marcus Freeman is doing. He said, listen, I'm building it. Come on down, Isaiah. Come on down, Rico Flores. Come on down, Justin Scott. Come on down. Because I'm building something that you're going to want to come to. Yeah, NIL, yeah, okay. It's cool. It's cool. But we got this over here, though, that's going to take it to the next level. And it's culturally fitting. Maybe you don't catch every phone call. But check the pivot out because you check that every week anyway. I'm on the pivot. Just in case you have some more questions, I'm on the pivot. Check me out. Dang, coach, you got on the pivot. That's cool. How you do that? That's the questions they ask in Marcus Freeman. How did you do it? Notre Dame isn't synonymous with stuff like that. How did you do that? That's cool. How'd you get your own apparel deal? Okay, maybe if that's possible for you, it may be possible for me. You bringing the pivot around. Shoot, you might start bringing LeBron James or something coming through. You might be bringing some stuff. It's the just like scary movies. They say scary movies aren't scary once you see the monster. It's the build up, the anticipation, the glimpses of maybe you see the monster. But once you see the monster, it's over. It's not a scary movie anymore. So for Marcus Freeman, he's building it up. He's building it up. Yeah, come on. I may not have I can't, open up the floodgates, but I'm doing enough things to make you think, okay, if I come, it's a little different. It's not the same. It's synonymous with something I can relate to. It's not like Notre Dame is this mythical Narnia that you got to be a suited and booted special type of individual that I just can't be the 5-star I am. Yeah, you got to have some suited and booted about you. But if Marcus Freeman is doing it, and he can do that and then jump over here on the pivot, if he can jump on these, go to the White House, if he can do all these movie premieres, he hang with the Mannings, he can do all these different things. Okay, maybe Notre Dame is a little cooler than I thought. I thought they just golfed all the time. And I don't even like golf, right? All I thought is they had no talent. They building it. So what Mark
Yeah.
is doing is building something they want to come to because of him and the things he's doing. Bring the barbershop in is huge. That's why he's every time. Marcus Free, you stay with a haircut. When you get Coach Kelly age, it's like haircut, you don't even know. It just you got the same hair every day. Marcus Freeman cut with the little parts on time. You like, oh, this man fresh.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let us sign with Nike. He's gonna be rocking some green and white the Nikes and some J's or something. So it's at the right time. You see what I'm saying? It's at the right time. We get a new apparel deal, a chance for this apparel deal to have some common sense and realize where the money gonna come from if you suit and boot your coach at a top 5 program, regardless of what school or what apparel deal we sign with. We top 3 in any apparel deal they sign with. It's Notre Dame. So Nike gonna have to go all out. That's gonna add to the cool factor. Like we said, every kid without even a presentation is gonna say Nike. They've done a good job at that. We don't even need to fake like, they Under Armour, Adidas got a chance with these kids. No. It's Nike or nothing.
Like we said that, right? You just go vote in the locker room. Nike, Under Armour and Adidas don't even have a chance.
Boxes for?
Look, I have a simpler way. You have just explained it with clarity, with bullet points. Everybody should understand what the culture is. Let me simplify it. If you are over 24, you no longer are the culture. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah.
If you are 24 and older, once you cross that line, you no longer decide what the culture is.
Yeah, you don't.
You don't. You don't. And you haven't for a long time. A long time.
For now, it's been a long time.
It's been a long time since my decisions have impacted the culture.
It's like the flip phone. Like, we got past what? You say 50? That iPhone is real tricky for y'all.
Yes.
It's, the letters look smaller. They got all these apps and widgets, but you get that same phone to an 11-year-old, they be like, oh, just, you do this. You can put your bank on here. You can do this on here. You can order food. You just like, what? This little one? Man, we had to flip. We had to page it. I just did it.
Listen, David Lowe, what you just said from a football standpoint, because shoes, it makes a difference.
Hey, like Adam said, David, you're over 24. You just don't.
Yeah, like dude, you
of
can't
course you
understand.
Don't believe it. Of course
you don't believe it.
But you talk to these kids.
But no, I would say this.
Be like, I'm not gonna go to a non-Nike school
for the sake of shoes. Go ask Michael Shrewsbury what it means in the world of basketball.
Oh yeah. You think we gonna catch a top 5 player?
Like, go ask.
He's a big man. It's like James Wiseman signed with Puma or something. Other than that, a skill player.
Go ask a basketball player would he rather rock Nike or Under Armour on the hardwood. That's when you see the difference.
It is crazy because Notre Dame is great, but then them kids be like, they go to that locker room and see the layouts of all the jerseys.
Man,
they're like, man, let's move on. Let's just move on to the next. Let's go over some film or do a workout. But you go to these other schools, they got their stuff laid out. You got kids and their moms all jerseyed up, hoodied up, big old family pictures, fresh Nike gears.
Yeah.
You go to Notre Dame, you get the one kid just, chucking the dudes. Just we don't have no props for real. We just get a little leprechaun. Hey, it just. If it was Nike, I just feel like Nike just has some just better stuff.
It's so funny. Remember Justin Scott hit campus when he was in March and he was rocking Crocs, and Notre Dame fans were like, "What is he doing?" That's the culture.
Yeah.
That's how kids dress
Because
going to
guess
high
what?
school
When I
every
was
day.
back then, Crocs was lame.
Lame,
You was a lame person with. He's like, oh, you that
lame.
poor? You got some Crocs on?
Man, you got some Crocs, man.
Fast forward, these high school kids got the Crocs in every color with refrigerator magnets on it. Like what? Like personalized
Crazy.
colorways, mix match, like you name it. Got their names spelled in the shoes. It's crazy. And I'm like, y'all would have been talked about when I was in high school, but I'm not. I'm over 24.
You're not the culture
I've
anymore.
accepted it. I'm like, I'm catching up. I gotta give me some Crocs. Goddamn. Every kid on my high school team got some damn Crocs on. That's why I'm like, your ankles is bad because you're out here wearing these rubber shoes. Don't come over here to practice talking about, coach, I can't practice because my ankle hurt and you wearing these rubber shoes around. Wear some boots. The football team got to wear boots from now on.
Yeah.
Because if something happened, I don't need you running in these little rubber Yeezys, these rubbers, these work shoes. Put some boots on.
Right.
And then we can talk about you missing practice from an ankle injury. You know, we got kids missing practice. They fell down the steps at school. How? You wearing them slippery, rubbery ass shoes. Put some boots on. That be pissing me off. Have a comment every day.
Look at this. Time to grind. My son just bought a brand new pair of pink Crocs yesterday.
And it's
Marcel,
like, that swag.
My daughter has about 10 pair.
You know the other thing? They do the dirty forces. They love wearing dirty forces with a fit. When has dirty forces been acceptable? These kids, or Pro Club, these kids wearing these big ass Pro Club t-shirts again.
So, Malik, explain culture. I gave it to you. If you're over 24, you are no longer the culture. Just try to keep up. That's it.
Yeah, like, you're just trying to keep up at this
man.
Point. Even me, it's like the older you get, the further harder to keep up it is. Like I can keep up still. I'm not on the freshest things, but I can keep up. I know how to get to it. Well, once you cross 35, now you really gotta ask around. ask a friend, ask a younger friend. What's new going on? Because it's impossible for you to find it. You're not gonna be able to find it.
Hey, Adam Blair, thanks for tapping in. Hey, you're the culture, Adam. You are the culture. So,
because you're gonna follow the next trend, the next funny video, and it's gonna be easy for Adam to find. It's just gonna pop up on his timeline somehow. Me, I'm getting CNN and weight loss and hair, stuff. And
see, Mike says I'm 58, so should I stop listening to Eric B and listen to Drake? Well, now that you know, Drake is no longer the culture.
Yeah, Drake old now. He trying to make alternative.
NBA young boy is the culture now.
Yeah, and listen.
And I can't tell. Bro, I try to debate with these kids like, please find somebody better. I hear the new Gunna is pretty fire. So I don't know. But no, Drake is not the culture anymore. Drake is an old man.
Drake just make good music.
Yeah. Drake is an old man now. Drake is about to be on the Dusty's station in a minute, man.
Can't do nothing about it.
You can listen to who you want to listen to. What I'm telling you is if you want to be in contact with the culture, you better lend your ear to what the culture is saying is hot.
Or if you want to know what why these kids are going to these other schools, because guess what? Miami is talking about them, us being an Under Armour school. What do you mean? Georgia's talking about us being an Under Armour. They promote Nike. They're not promoting science, health, and math. Well, they promote, we have Nike. Look at our fresh Nike gear. Nike bought this weight room for us. Like, look at all these nutrition bars and shakes we got by Nike. Like, what I mean? Duh. They like, look, you gonna go to Under Armour school? They ain't gonna
Mm-hmm.
get you no money when you go to the league. You gonna sign with
Mm-hmm.
Under Armour when you get out? Come on.
Yep.
But that's what these schools are winning kids over by. That's why you think these photo shoots start being big.
And see,
When I was going through it, we didn't do no photo shoots
this
like that.
this is when you know people just don't understand, which is going to lead to my next question that was asked. Anthony, not Anthony. Oh, I'm sorry. Said I run from today's culture. That ish is trash. It's the same thing they said about you when you were that age. Older people said what you thought was culture was trash too.
Well, it is a little more
No, it's the same
abrasive.
thing.
It's
Man,
abrasive.
my grandfather used to say some of the most disrespectful stuff about hip hop. Some I'm talking to boy run. He used to NWA was trash.
Okay, but that was okay.
No,
The
no, no, no,
premise,
no, 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 no,
the
no, no,
sexy
no.
red song.
The
That's
premise,
in any
dude.
culture
Let's
that'd be
stop.
crazy.
No, let's stop. Let's stop because we like to be protective of our culture. NWA was mad disrespectful to females. Mad disrespectful.
Yes.
And you can't even protect that.
Yes.
I don't care how groundbreaking they were. They were mad disrespectful to the culture, our own culture.
Yes.
So I defended it at the time, but as I grew older, I realized yes. And Easy E's album, as dope as I thought it was full of skips. There were some bad songs on that album.
Yeah.
So it's like our culture, everybody's culture feels like, oh man, our culture was the best. Our music was the best. No, you had some trash music in your culture. You had some offensive music in your culture. And like you just wanted to defend it. If you're honest about it,
balance more in cultures and generations before the non-balance you have in this.
No. There's just a lot more more liberation and inhibition are going now.
There was NWA at that time, but there was also Aretha Franklin and all that stuff. But now you got what's the alternative my Booty Brown thing? What's that song?
Wait a minute, bro. Wait a minute. You said Easy E's album give you a feeling on what?
Yeah,
that women are less than. Like, what are we really about to defend Easy E's music right now, man? Come on, man. And we're gonna look at this with grown up eyes.
But even E's time, it was a balance. There was a balance.
Especially if you have a daughter, you would not tell your daughter, go listen to that Easy E.
But it was an opposite to that at the time. There's no opposite today. That's all I'm saying. There's no opposite.
You talking about the balance.
Yes.
That's because now it has become so driven towards this is the path to the money as far as content. This is the quick road. There is no lucrative road to be Tribe Called Quest. There is no lucrative road to be a backpacker. You know what I'm saying? It's only a few spots. It's okay. We got J. Cole for that. That's it. Right? You can't have a full native tongue of like 5-6 groups. Right? You can't have an X clan.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
There being no balance. You had, the group. You had Men Condition, then you had NWA. But now you got less. You have YSL, they all in a Rico case. Like, what is that? Like, it's just no balance.
Balance. Man, the balance is out of whack, but the money threw it out of whack. Because these kids now don't need the labels. They could talk about literally what they did yesterday in the hood. Go make something at home on their computer, put it out, and go make money and get shows off of it. That's when you look. Remember when you had to go through a full year of artist development before you even saw light of day? This is the balance. These are the checks and balances, bro, that no longer exist, right? Because it's the record labels that no longer want to invest in development, and they're saying, oh, if we could just partner with you making music from home, that's less expense for us on our books. Now we're making more. on the back end. So everybody is in cahoots. They could care less about quality, balance, development. It's all about the money. This is the quick path to the money. And that's culture. You're right. And we look at it like, oh man, it's not the same. Bro, culture is going to change. Culture, man, my daughter at some point is going to make me a grandfather, and her child is going to look at her and say, man, y'all music was whack. The music that's popping now, she's going to look at her when she turns 16 is like, what in the world? Little Baby is trash. It's going to happen. And whoever is the culture setter for them, that's who they're going to love. And my daughter's going to say, y'all hip hop is not good. It's not like ours. It's the same thing that happens over and over again, bro. Our parents did it to us. My generation did it to your generation. No, it's the same conversation that continues. Everybody thinks what they had was the best. I can't tell my grandfather anything about music. Nothing. And I think I came from the golden era of music. When R&B was actually still popping, Left.
Yeah.
R&B was actually still popping in the culture. It's dead now. If I brought R&B from the 80s to my grandfather, he wouldn't laugh, bro. He would laugh. Like, come on, Shaun. Really? So, man, which leads me to the next question I was asked. Shaun, what do you mean that Notre Dame and its tradition is safe in today's culture? What do you mean? What do you mean we have to be able to open up to the movements? As an alum, I don't think this culture has some really bad things. I don't think we should do that. Dude, it's okay to come outside and be you in today's culture. Nobody's about to force Notre Dame to change who they are. But you can't be scared behind the walls in South Bend and not tap into how to market yourself. In your YouTube feed is not good enough.
Yeah.
If you're scared to tap into how the younger generation consumes information, you're losing. Whether it's TV, apparel, podcasting, if you stay behind those walls in South Bend, you're going to lose. Trying to protect tradition. Oh, we have to protect our tradition. What? The pivot is not about to make you change admission rules. What are we talking about? What are you protecting? What are you protecting? All of a sudden, we come out and we start getting on cultural podcasts. Now, all of a sudden, we're going to have to change the way we do business. What? That's crazy. That's crazy. And Marcus Freeman on the pivot is a perfect example of that. Literally, I had to go back and forth with a very nice alum. Yes, he was 58, I believe. Very nice alum. Had a great conversation. He's like, Shaun, just need you to explain this to me. I'm a conservative. I'm a Catholic. And I just don't know. When you talk about connecting to culture and movements, like, what are you really saying? And I'm like, man, stop being scary. Number one. Just because you don't understand mainstream pop culture, you don't understand it and you fear it. It doesn't mean that Notre Dame can't use it to its benefit. And hopefully the powers that be in Notre Dame see what happened. Ryan Clark has tweeted the most clips of any interview I've ever seen on the pivot. You know what that means? It's doing numbers.
Yeah.
The interview is doing mad numbers. Probably numbers that the pivot is not used to. And
Want to know why?
Ryan Clark is like, I'm riding this wave.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm riding this wave. I'm riding this Notre Dame wave. And SEC LSU guy is like, oh, we're riding this wave. Notre Dame is real. This brand is real. This brand means moolah, numbers, relevancy. So in order for that to hit Notre Dame in a positive way moving forward, Notre Dame has to come out from behind its walls of this. We have to protect our tradition. From who? Culture is not like this invading force that's going to knock down the walls of Notre Dame and who they are. That's not how it works. I'm sitting here, we're sitting here, spinning it different, non-traditional, talking Notre Dame, unlike anybody else in the way they talk Notre Dame, with our spin, with who we are, from an ethnic standpoint, cultural standpoint, and everything. And guess what? It works. Who knew, Left? Who knew it would work? Not being non-traditional, talking X's and O's, this coach, that coach. Who knew that we could do this and it would work? Who knew, Left? And we have 50-year-olds that watch, 60-year-olds, 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds. Because guess what? Content is content.
Yeah.
Content is content. And Notre Dame's tradition and all its values are valuable assets of content. So are you going to keep it in a traditional form, or are you going to actually allow it to be exposed to the culture and the younger people so they can understand and see it in a different light? Or are you going to be scared and say, oh, we have to protect our traditions? What are you protecting? What exactly are you protecting? Loosen up a little bit, man. And that's what I told him. Like, man, relax. Loosen up. The culture is not trying to pillage. Right. The culture is not trying to pillage Notre Dame.
And maybe it's not letting go. Maybe it's an evolution. You know, a lot of people like to hold on to things they can connect to, and things evolve over time. Clearly, Notre Dame was like, at first, we need to have touchdown Jesus be the center of the stadium. Now they replace it with a scoreboard.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, y'all not crying over that.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So I think they understand there's an evolution of things, but that doesn't mean they have to let go of touchdown Jesus. Is still there, and people still come take pictures all the time.
Guess what?
Just can't see it in the stadium anymore.
They impeded touchdown Jesus for money, did they not?
Yeah, very true.
They put technology before touchdown Jesus, did they not? So if your tradition was that important, go take that scoreboard down.
Take the scoreboard down.
Take the scoreboard down. If tradition is that important, yes. If tradition is so important, take that scoreboard down. Come on, man. Come on. Last but not least, because there's at least 5 questions I had, but this is the third one. Left, I'll let you take this one. Someone asked me, say, Shaun, please explain to me what you guys meant when you said the pivot was a safe space for Marcus Freeman.
A safe space?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think if anybody's talking on TV to any major corporation, you're just going to be a little nervous. You're gonna naturally put on a different face for it just because you know what it is. It's Fox News, it's CNN, it's ABC. Anybody's not just gonna go in there and just say whatever they're thinking. So I just think that's a little disingenuous of a question, I guess. But
it's not. I understood. I understood.
But for
Understood.
but for it to be what it is, I think it's a good opportunity for Marcus Freeman to feel more comfortable in a relaxed setting.
Boom.
He's not standing at no podium. He don't got no mic in his hand. He don't got
Mm-hmm.
cameras and everybody, shooting very specific questions that are trying to form
Mm-hmm.
narratives. I think the pivot did a great job asking a lot of open-ended questions to give him some time to explain. I mean, he was sitting in the coach's part of the locker room in a little circle. I mean, that's pretty safe to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, as an interviewer, you want to put your interviewee in a situation where they feel comfortable enough to even go as in depth as he did, which is a
Yeah.
bonus for Marcus Freeman because these major corporations aren't interviewing him in that little coach locker room in the home side of the stadium. They're not doing that. They're gonna be in the big auditorium where they can plug up the thousands of different things they need, and it's a pretty intimidating setting. They cut the lights off. It's
Mm-hmm.
just you sitting across the chair, so it's a little different.
Mm-hmm.
And you got your Notre Dame polo on, and so yeah, I think environment matters a lot when you're trying to get the right response, and the pivot did a good job at that, as opposed to what Marcus Freeman is hired to do. He wasn't
Mm-hmm.
hired to do the pivot.
Mm-hmm.
When you hired to do the job as a head coach, and you take these media, you got to think of your job. Shit, yeah, he's thinking of his job in the pivot, but it's okay. I know what I can and can't say. In the media, he knows he can't say a lot. Even Ryan Clark said that. He was like, "Yeah, we got Mike Tomlin. He go to the media. He give you as much as he want as he's gonna give you.
Mm-hmm.
But on here, he's like, man, I get to talk to you one on one. You cool, man. You going in depth. I didn't know you was this deep. Whatever, whatever. So yeah, that's just why you, as Marcus Freeman being conscious, he's like, this is a good way of me getting out there. He doesn't see the Gillian Wallow interviews where they have great interviews, does great numbers, and people talk about it. He's like, okay, this is my version of that, and I think the kids will respect it going forward.
For me, safe space is something that I hope, regardless of who you are, what culture you're a part of, I hope everyone has a safe space to express themselves in life. I don't care if it's a wife, a spouse, a girlfriend, someone that you feel like you can be vulnerable with, be truthful with. That's a safe space. Because when you go to these corporate buildings, you're not about to act the way you are when you're at the bar with your boys. The conversation is going to be the same as if you're hanging out with the dudes you grew up with, or if you're hanging out with your girl. That's a safe space when you feel like you can be yourself without being judged or wondering about how it's going to be viewed, how it's going to be talking about. And Marcus Freeman started off the interview saying, "Yeah, man, that Players Tribune interview, I'm going into it thinking I'm speaking to Notre Dame fans, not knowing that it was going to be portrayed the way it was portrayed and bring all this vitriol from Ohio State fans." He learned very quickly. When you're dealing with this media, it's not really a safe space. So let me really think about what I want to say in these interviews. He got around fellow football players that played at the highest of levels, came from similar backgrounds, all came from big time universities, and they had something culturally that they can relate to that created a safer space for another conversation that's totally different than you get any other time you see him. That's a safe space. I'm sure Marcus Freeman has an extremely safe space with his wife. And I hope everyone has one or two safe spaces in your life because you need them. Man, you need them to be able to release and get stuff out and just have the opportunity to be yourself. So that's what we meant by the pivot being a safe space. because it was a departure from what he's had. He has to represent Notre Dame all the time. Like, you don't understand the pressure of that. Every time he speaks, I'm repping Notre Dame, dog. I'm repping Notre Dame. And you can see he sunk his shoulders a little bit and was just able to be Marcus Freeman with some boys hanging out.
That's what we wanted to see, and what
absolutely.
we expected to see in the second year was him being more comfortable, and this is building up into him being more comfortable in these situations, because now the things he said on the pivot can reflect on the sideline as the year goes on. This is not just review for the moment. We're going to look back at this in the season and be like, yeah, okay, I see what he was meaning. It's coming apparent now.
Mm-hmm. So, when we come back, no, I don't want to see Coach Freeman on Drink Champs. No.
Nah, not yeah.
See, that's you got to pick and choose the right podcast. That is not the right podcast for Marcus Freeman or Notre Dame.
Yeah, we don't need him to see no Don Julio.
No. And I love Drink Champs. Don't get me wrong.
He's not gonna be promoting no sports on there.
Right.
So it just doesn't relate.
Right.
At least with it is what it is with Mason Cameron. They got sports. It just be a little wild, you know.
Facts. There's a few other mainstream joints. I would love to see Marcus Freeman on the Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
Love it. You know what we used to do as producers? We would love for athletes to go on the Breakfast Club because they will open up and talk about stuff that they would never open up and talk about during the season.
That's right.
On the Breakfast Club, because it becomes a safe space. They get real comfortable. Now you get some good convo and good content. So it is what it is. When we come back, recruiting, restructuring, and what's really happening. Lucky Lefty Podcast. Welcome back to the Lucky Lefty Podcast. Marcus Freeman's interview, as he mentioned, I can use this. He said it in the interview, Love. I can use this for recruiting. He recognized that. Like, this is a huge opportunity for me to connect to these young men across this country. He understood culturally what was getting ready to take place, even if fans didn't understand it. So, as we restructure recruiting, I think the direction that Amir Carlisle, as director of player development, he's very involved. I think the direction of the new hire coming over from West Virginia as a director of recruiting are nice steps in the right direction. It's not good enough, Left.
Yeah.
It's not good enough. You have to surround them with a staff. You have to build this out. Nick Saban has a recruiting staff of 70 people left. 17. Georgia, 55.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure I say this correctly. We can sit here and wish that every coach on Notre Dame staff was really strong at recruiting.
Yes.
Let me give you the truth about college football. You're never going to have a full staff of great recruiters.
It's not going to happen.
It's not happening. It's not happening. Sometimes you make decisions to hire a coach because they're really good at developing and coaching, just not that good at recruiting.
Yeah.
But if you have a recruiting staff that's deep enough to go find the talent, analyze the talent, you can allow that coach to do what he does best. This is what Notre Dame has to do. Because Notre Dame fans, there are always going to be one or two coaches on every staff that just
not getting it done.
They're not going to get it done. Yes.
Maybe a good.
Absolutely. So support them with a recruiting staff that will allow them to do what they do best. See, you can sit up here and complain about Al Golden. You might lament Chris O'Leary. But if you had a better recruiting staff.
But Chris O'Leary can coach, he can coach a little bit. He just,
No, I'm just saying. He is always compared to Mike Mickens, bro.
Yes, and that's just not fair.
And it's not fair. It's not fair. Everybody can't be. Let me tell you.
Mike Mickens now.
Mike Mickens, Marcus Freeman.
Mike Mickens going to get a really nice job next year. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
He's at least going to be up for it,
Harry Easton, Mike Mickens, Marcus Freeman, Chancey Stuckey, and Dina McCullough are naturals.
Yes.
Being a great recruiter is you just are. You are a great recruiter. Now, some coaches can work really hard at it because they're not as natural and they can be more proficient at it.
Like Elston.
Yes. Mike Elston isn't the greatest natural recruiter, but Mike Elston will outwork you. Dude, like I said, these kids in Chicago, they'll tell you, hey.
Yeah. He going to do it. Elston going to do his job now.
Michigan is working. Hey.
And Elston may not be the most man, I love Coach Elston. Let me just call him up every day. He may not be that because he was my recruiter. I love Elston. I tell you what, he was memorable. He may not be the man, I fall in love with this coach, man. He just so cool. It's just man, Coach Elston be working hard, but he in my inbox. And when I talk to him, I get it. He not going to be overzealous and just all on me, but he gonna be cool, man. It's gonna be a good relationship builder. So, it's just but he's not gonna be like how Alfred was, where Coach Alfred know how to get him. You know how to
right.
Him, but he just slam dunk every time, and that's why Ohio State's running back room has been consistent. What do you mean? So it's some natural and some work hard, but you still find a way to get it done.
Yeah. So what? You're allotted, is it 10 slots? You're allowed to have coaches. It's 10 coaches, assistants, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Is it 10 or 11? I'm sorry, man. Out of the 10, if you get 6 natural recruiters, that's a darn good staff. That's a darn good staff, man. Guys that can just. Harry Easton had a way that he connected. He connected. He was a natural recruiter. Yeah, he was a natural recruiter of offensive line. He just was.
Yeah, of offensive line.
He's just a natural recruiter of offensive line.
He ain't gonna grab a receiver.
You know what I'm saying? I'll never forget. I'll never forget. Because I'm a big guy, Left. I'm a big guy. I'll never forget the first time I met Harry Easton last March. I'm going in to cover the coaches and the staff being revealed. I walk into the stadium, into the greeting area to the right, that little room with all the helmets and everything, the lounge. Harry Easton is the first coach I see. As soon as I walk in, I know he saw my body. He was like, "What's up, big guy?" I was like, "Boy, I see." I was like, Harry just connected with me, boy, because I'm a big dude. He was like, Like I could have used you, man.
Yeah, I'm talking. Yeah, what's up with you,
Like
man? What's
you
going
got some
on?
eligibility left.
Straight up.
And it was like
Straight
funny.
up.
We caught eyes. We laughed. I said, "What's up, coach?" He said,
Yeah.
"All right, how you doing?" So I
Yeah.
could tell, like, you don't think he has that personality.
Because he's, he's real because he's going to what he know.
Mm-hmm.
Coach, he gonna find what's relatable in the room and go to. He ain't gonna be fake and trying to
Yeah.
holler at the hot quarterback or the. He gonna be
Yeah.
like, who I look like I get along with in here. I'm gonna just go over there. And if he like you, he pick you out, or he's gonna embrace you.
Yeah.
And you be like, oh, that's why I like Coach. Now, after he leaves you, he gonna go to somebody that looks just like you. If not, he gonna go home. He about to kick it and hang around, eat hors d'oeuvres, and fake like he want to be there. He like, let me see if anybody I can. All right, no, all right, I'm out.
Yeah.
And that's what comes important when you talk about guys like Charles Jagasaw. His personality fit Easton. Easton was like, all right, you like film? I like film. You finna just go ahead and
Yes.
knock this thing out for about 3 hours. You gonna leave wanting more, wanting to be a part of it. That's what we want. Charles Jagasaw said, that's my guy.
Uh-huh.
And maybe other linemen like the kid that left us and went to USC, maybe he wanted to, go out and hang out at the park. Easton's not doing that. He's saying like, oh, you want to go do other stuff? I'm trying to watch film.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's not what Elijah Page wanted. And so he went to Lincoln Riley to do photo shoots and hang out on Hollywood Boulevard, But that's fine. Every recruit is different. But I know what the recruits he says getting is going to turn out more times than not because he knows what he wants and he's specific on what he wants.
Hey, and he's not fake. Like this is who he is. Lucky Lefty podcast. And to go deeper into that, what we're saying is you don't have to build out a staff of 70 people at Notre Dame. Just give the coaching staff 10. Just give them 10 solid GAs and students.
Yeah, that work
That's
hard.
it. That work hard.
Want to be there.
And work hard. That can walk into Al Golden's office and say, Coach, I got 10 kids for you to look at today. We really like these 3, but we're giving you 10. That's it. Coach O'Leary, man, we went and found this kid from Wyoming, Pennsylvania somewhere.
And that's a good football area, though.
Absolutely.
It's actually a good little area.
And Coach O'Leary, who's focused on development, which is his strength, is like, cool, I'll do that after practice. I can sit up in my office late and I can really tap in on these guys. And now I can connect to them and talk to them. Thank you for doing the leg work.
Right.
Assist your guys.
Yeah,
and help them in the areas where they might not be great at because everybody on your staff can't be great at recruiting, man. They can't. It's a reason why everybody at Alabama looks great in recruiting. They got a recruit staff of 70 people.
Yeah.
70. That's crazy. You can put me a DB coach at Alabama. I'm getting at least 2 5-stars every cycle.
Yeah, it's easy.
It's easy. And I could probably be an average recruiter.
Yeah, you can be an average, yeah. Like Tommy's gonna look like a genius because he's at Saban's, you at Alabama, dude.
Heck, he's walking in with Julian Sagan coming next year.
Yeah, you're gonna have to try hard not to be, semi worth it.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes about where you at, not what you're doing.
Yeah, man. It is, as I said before, what Amir Carlisle did, it's great, but it's not enough.
No, it's only the start.
Hey, if Notre Dame and its own marketing team does not follow up and expand beyond the YouTube channel, You didn't get the message. If you don't get on Instagram and become a little bit more visible, you didn't get the message. You did not understand the assignment, Notre Dame. Amir Carlisle cracked the door. Notre Dame media has to walk through it. They have to recognize, oh snap, we're marketable as hell. We can actually connect to the younger generation. Forget the fact that you don't understand Instagram and all that. That doesn't matter. Put Notre Dame out there. Put the tradition out there. Put the stories of great games out there. Put it out there for consumption. What are you protecting? What? It's like, man, you might as well swing for the fences. When you're building this staff of this new director of recruiting, don't leave him by himself. Give him support. Give him workers. Give him 10. That's it. Give him 10. 10 hard workers and watch it make a difference. Watch it help your coaching staff. Watch. I'm sorry, man. Me personally, do you think Pat McAfee is culture? I don't know. I don't watch
Justin Timberlake being culture.
Yeah, see, I'm trying to be fair. I don't know his numbers. I don't watch Pat McAfee.
Now, Pat McAfee has a little bit of a niche because he's coming out of a cultured place, but he's doing other people's job.
Great example. Shannon Sharp on Undisputed is traditional, not really culture. Not really culture. Club Shay Shay, the podcast.
That's culture.
It's culture.
Prime example.
It's a totally different Shannon Sharp.
Always wins.
Yes.
Culture always wins.
Yes.
He started pulling better and better guests.
Yes.
Undisputed is still great. Love Undisputed. Want to miss
it.
But at the end of the day, Shannon's like, listen.
Yes.
The culture is calling.
Yes. 16, 17, 18-year-olds. They're not watching Undisputed.
And the ones that are talking crazy anyway. They always talking mess about it anyway.
No, man, is Joe Rogan culture?
He's mainstream culture.
Yeah, he's definitely mainstream culture, but I don't think
he gonna talk about stuff that's not talked about. That gives you perspective. However, you getting paid that much by these sponsors, we'll never know. We'll never know because like we talked about is authentic and original. Once you start getting paid the millions for advertisements and your wallet is impacted in many different ways, the culture is only subjective at that point. You'll have some stuff where people can be like, oh, okay, but we'll just never know.
You'll never know. You'll never know. So yeah, that's it. You help your staff by taking the advantage and the opportunity of moving forward and doing it strongly and getting Notre Dame and who they are into the current state of culture and stop feeling like you have to protect Notre Dame. Notre Dame does not need to be protected, man. It's okay. Dude, I remember for me, it's like I remember 20 years ago, trying to get my dad. My dad was like number one on WJYS, local TV, as far as ministries in Chicago, as far as his Sunday morning service and views. Number one. I was begging him, build you a website, control your own content, get on YouTube. This was 20 years ago. I'm like, I see where it's going. I see where the culture is shifting. We need to start doing this now. And by the time he recognized it, it was too late. It was too late to really take advantage of it. When you could have been ahead of the game, owned your own stuff, and ran everything through your own website, monetized it. Right? Then I'm like, yo, you need the podcast. You and mom need the podcast. You need to reach out to people every day and connect to them this way through their phones.
Yeah, it's effort at this point. Yeah, once you get to that, you gotta put some effort in. Shit.
But when you have people that are not of the culture, they fear what they don't understand. Right? And there's this fear by people connected to Notre Dame, like, oh man, we're not going to be able to control certain things. It's like, dude.
But that's the hidden hand that's been Notre Dame's thing.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
No, they always going, I think I had somebody talk about making money. They said making money is not the hard part. The hard part is keeping it. And with an endowment of $10 billion, I can only imagine the mind of a person trying to keep that $10 billion growing.
Man. Yo, it is. What's happening with this recruiting hire is vitally important, Notre Dame fans, to the restructuring of the way recruiting is done at Notre Dame. Going beyond Marcus Freeman, the staff. It goes beyond them, man. When you see Alabama and Georgia, it's bigger than Kirby Smart, bro. They have a staff and a machine that works tirelessly, daily. That's how Nick Saban can leave and have Tommy on campus. Like, man, just handle that. Oh man, I'll talk to him later when I get back. Y'all finalize all that stuff. Because it's a machine. Content is golden. You're right, Elizabeth Crook. Shoot, if you got content, that's 80% of the battle left. Good content?
Yeah.
Man. Yes. Now you're just looking for distribution, landing spots, and man, Lucky Lefty podcast. Great show. We're going to dig a little bit deeper. Ryan Roberts is going to join us, I think next week. And we're going to dig deeper into this recruiting thing and how it impacts recruiting moving forward. And the coaching staff a little bit deeper. Thanks, man. We wanted to answer your questions. We thought it would be funny to answer the questions that came at us from our conversations. Fans of all ages. Hopefully we answered your questions about culture, what it meant, and all the other things that you didn't understand. Man, we love lunch hours with you as well, Elizabeth, and the rest of LL Nation. Anything to close out, Left?
Great show today.
What you think about that Boston trade, brother?
Oh, the Boston trade. I didn't get to see it this morning. Who was it? They got rid of Tatum.
They got Porzingis to Boston. They sent Marcus Smart to the Grizzlies. And some picks.
Replace Dylan Brooks. That's pretty good.
Yeah. And, he can play point guard until Ja gets back.
True.
And if I'm not mistaken, I forget who. What's the kid's name? Tyus Jones ended up in Washington from the Grizzlies.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. He won, but at least he gets to start.
Yeah. I mean, Sure, I'm surprised they didn't keep him, even though Ja left.
Yeah, he has a contract coming up too, so they probably didn't want to pay that. They let Dylan Brooks go. Now they can go get some more vets and become an actual team instead of some clients.
instead of a AAU team.
Absolutely. Can you imagine Jaron Jackson Jr. and Marcus Smart defending the pick and roll, though, bro?
That'd be pretty good.
That's 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 all right. That's all right. You know what time it is.
Petticoat, petticoat, petticoat junction.
It's time to get petty
Oh, we did a good job executing.
Are you upset with something?
and fire up the Petticoat Junction train.
I just don't like you.
You don't?
No.
What is today's petty history? Petty Junction.
Petticoat Junction.
Petty Junction, pettiest story of the day. Brought to you by Onora Whiskey. OnoraWhiskey.com. That premium American whiskey. OnoraWhiskey.com. I saw your girl Mariah got a ban from Twitter after she threatened Zion.
First of all, my girl.
Not your girl, but
Yeah, she's definitely. Well, I guess Zion was still trying to entertain it or something, or still not having no
he's a goofy.
OGs, man. Like, come on, now
Yeah.
you gotta hate him.
Mm-hmm.
Because now it's like, all right, man, it's starting to get crazy because she's putting up screenshots and you still sending money, still trying to work it out.
Uh-huh.
What's wrong with you?
Sucker.
I don't understand, man. So is he? He's still trying to play basketball, right? Or you would
I
hope.
don't know. I don't know. I would like to say, man, it seems like current reports have said that they found a debris field in the search for the submersive. Man, it's just tragic, man. That's all. Tragic.
No, it's not.
Well, I don't wish
You got
that
$1 billion,
on anyone.
man, and you doing bored people stuff. Like, come on, you couldn't have. That was so unserious of a venture. You got a PlayStation remote. Come on, man. You got $1 billion. I have some high tech stuff in there, like
Yeah.
the holograms. $1 billion. What are you doing?
Yeah.
So you don't feel bad for stupid stuff, but you're not wishing nothing bad on nobody.
No, I just feel, for the,
Dude,
you're right, for the outcome.
you that bored with life, go.
You're right, for the outcome. For the outcome, man. I just didn't like the outcome.
They said, what they say, one of the articles said, more people have been to space than trying to find your crazy ass down there.
Hey, give me 5 seconds. Keep talking, because that would be my father, who knows that I'm recording right now and just doesn't care as he rings the doorbell. Go ahead.
Yeah, like, come on, man. Listen, if I had $1 billion, the last thing I'm doing is going to the bottom of the ocean willingly, for what? $1 billion? I'd buy some stuff to go see. But to do these excursions, that's how you know you got too much money and you're not putting your money to use as much as you should be. Man, it's unfortunate that you get lost at the bottom of the sea. I mean, is that unfortunate? Is it? Is the Titanic was famous for doing it on accident. Now you infamous for doing it on purpose. So you make people not know how to feel because I don't have enough money to build something to go that deep. So it's kind of out of my realm of empathy because it's like you doing crazy stuff. So I don't understand. But, like you said, don't want to see nobody go out sad like that. But like they said, more people have been to space than the things you're trying to do. So what do you expect? Well, they say Icarus, this is the opposite of Icarus. Icarus tried to get too close to the sun. Yeah, it's trying to get too close to the center of the earth. And Now you're floating with no oxygen or something.
Last on the petty train, we say the best for last. I present to those Larsa Pippen and Marcus Jordan, who have created a podcast called Separation Anxiety with Larsa Pippen and Marcus Jordan. Man, this might be one of the best petty train tickets I've ever passed out in my life. Because as crazy as Scotty's been talking, I'm happy. I'm happy. On draft day, Mike can laugh as he takes a nice pick on his way out the door with $3 billion in his pocket. Marcus can laugh.
They really laughing though. That's the crazy.
Oh man. Oh my. Oh, this is beautiful. Oh. They started a podcast, Left. This is beyond petty. This is beyond petty. Are you kidding me?
What do you even say to that?
Dude, the episode right here is entitled In the Name of Love and Babies on the Brain. Are you kidding me?
Like it's really crazy. Like for real.
Yo.
Like no man should be going through nothing like that.
Oh my God. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to use God's name in vain. Look. Oh man. No.
Couldn't be me. Couldn't be me.
Left.
I just don't understand where you go from here. You know, like you gotta make sure this man ain't on suicide watch or something.
Oh, man.
You got your arch nemesis, career still banging over your head. Your son rocking your arch nemesis' favorite shoes.
Oh man.
Then you must have did your lady real bad to the point where she's doing this with no remorse.
Mm-hmm.
First it was Future. Future done got a hit single off her. That's embarrassing. Then she come back with NBA rumors with dudes
Malik Beasley.
Son. Then teams up with the arch nemesis, then makes a podcast and
And then this man sitting with you behind the Lakers bench as you watch your son. You know, going
like, it's like how much more L's can the man catch? Every time you get on TV, you down in the arch nemesis.
Oh man,
you made the arch nemesis. Jordan, I know nothing bad really to say about you.
Man,
you trying to air out stuff people not catching on, man. And it's like it's like where do you go from here? It's like ain't no type of cool.
Yes, I agree
with your ex-wife.
Hey, this is thought out. This is thought out.
This is hurt, painful.
Yeah, well
because it's
played.
Gonna be people gonna pay attention. That's the thing. People are going to pay attention.
Absolutely.
They just act like, oh, they're not going to know. Might get millions of listeners. Then
Hey, Chris. Hey, oh no, Marcus is a little bit old. Marcus is in his 30s, so. Oh boy. We're not going to talk LSU right now. I saw the breaking news. Football, basketball, probation for recruiting. We'll get into it after I do some research tomorrow. But I'm sure that predates Brian Kelly showing up because Will Wade is involved. And he's no longer there at LSU. Great show for the Culture Friday. Tomorrow, we'll be back. We might have a special guest. Appreciate you guys. Make sure that you spend the rest of the day spending it different. We'll be back.